Welcome, judges. If we could have a little quiet in the room. It's very exciting. We're judging the West Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards for 2018, and we're about to start our first category. Welcome to the audience, and welcome to anyone listening on live stream. I bet there's some nervous people out there. Okay, so we have our judges all ready and raring to go, but just before we start, I'd just like to introduce everyone. First up, my name is Janet Craig. I'll tell you about myself later because I do like to talk about myself, but not yet because we want to hear all about the judges that we've got sitting in front of us. So our first judge, Amber Simcoe, Master Photographer. Can we have a little word about what your passion is with photography, Amber?
Yeah, I am wedding and portrait photography mainly. I've been in business with Diane D-Ray and Simcoe. I have been entering for many years, at least 10, and mostly with my client work. I've reached my master's level, and getting more into creative work this year, which has been really fun.
Brilliant. Thanks, Amber. And next to Amber, we have judge number 2, Rebecca Johansson.
Is it on? Okay,
yes.
Good. So I'm one half of Compose Photography, and we're predominantly a wedding and portrait studio. We've been Compose for 11 years, and I've been entering awards for at least probably 8 to 9 years. Sometimes my client work and sometimes more my creative stuff.
Brilliant, and done very well with your entries too, I know for a fact. Next we have Jacinta Del Ben, one of our visiting judges. Very lucky to have Jacinta with us today. And for the weekend, we'll be working you hard, Jacinta, watch out.
Yes, I know. So I'm from Melbourne, and this is my 5th year. So I've been part of the AOPP for 5 years. Received my master's last year, and I'm a newborn photographer predominantly. Was finalist this year in both newborn and pets through Victoria.
Oh, brilliant.
There you go.
That's good. Well, we've got some good talent on the newborn panel, that's for sure. And sitting right next to Jacinta is David Oliver.
Hi, I'm from Sydney, New South Wales. We've had a wedding portrait photography studio there for way too many years. And I run that with my daughter, Claire. Actually, Claire runs it and I play these days. So Claire's the principal photographer there, and we have a gallery up in the Hunter Valley where I hang out and try and sort of stay out of trouble.
Oh, that's brilliant. And David has been around for a while. Most people do know him, and he's a grandmaster of photography as well. And right next to David Oliver is Simone Addison. Welcome, Simone.
Hello. Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm Simone Addison. I'm predominantly a wedding and portrait photographer. I've been in business for, about 4 or 5 years, and been entering awards into the ARPP for about 6 years. So, yeah, looking forward to judging today. Thanks.
Excellent. Okay, a very strong panel. And also who will be joining our panel is Diane D-Ray. But we'll be hearing from Diane a little later when we make a judge change. Okay, so we're into the newborn category. I will read you the description, and so if we could all pay attention, and Diane as well. Okay, the newborn category embraces imagery of infants up to 3 months of age. The judges are asked to reward excellence in lighting, posing, composition and camera technique, as well as creativity and imagination. Newborn is defined as an infant up to 3 months of age, calculated from the delivery date. Entries into this category must be commissioned from the family or families of the newborn depicted in the entry. Images of immediate family members cannot be entered. Elements within the entry must be captured within 24 months of the award closing date. The images may contain other people, including family members, pets or animals, so long as the newborn is the main point of focus and the image was taken during a newborn session. Okay, I think we're quite clear with the rules. Okay, so I think we're all ready to start. Is everyone all Ready and raring? Okay, let's start judging. Okay, so could we have our first print, please? Okay, judges, let's just take a seat and we'll just try and move a little quicker, making up our minds. Otherwise, we'll be here until midnight. Okay, and the print has scored 81, a silver award. Okay, now could I ask for a comment on the image from any of the judges? Jacinta?
The only thing to probably take this higher, if you're going to take it to APA, is a little bit more of a story. I understand it's a puppet, but if there's another element that we can add in there to read into it a little bit more. And the grounding of the chair, I sort of struggled a little bit at the front. I was feeling it's a little bit floating. So just have a look at those few things.
Great feedback. Thank you, Jacinta. Okay, so we'll accept that score. And next print, please. Okay, thank you, judges. We have an average score of 79. We don't have anyone 5 from the average, so I can't accept any challenges from this print, so that's where the score will sit. And, of course, there are no reviews. But let's get a comment from Judge 4. David. Yeah, thanks, David.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed the use of the natural light. I think the beautiful skin tones to improve this, to take it to the next level. Maybe less pink, I think, it's dominating the actual outside area. I think that would help if you could go in closer maybe and just include the lavender and the baby instead of that overuse of the final background.
David, and there was one other judge on 80, so still some great feedback for our entrant for APA. Yep. Okay, we'll accept that score. And next print, please. Okay, and the print score's 77. Okay, I'll accept that score. And if we could have a comment from Simone.
Hi guys, look, this is a beautiful image. I just felt that the white from the top was a little bit heavy, bit too wide. It was a little bit distracting. The tree motif was really beautiful, but I just got a little bit distracted from the where the feet and the hands are. There seems to be something a little bit funny going on around that area, so maybe just look at retouching. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Simone. Just before we go on, I did forget to mention that this newborn category is sponsored by KL. So thank you, KL, for sponsoring the newborn category. And let's move on to the next print. And we've scored a silver award at 80. Excellent, and we will accept that score. Okay, could I have a volunteer for some feedback for the entrant? Yeah, thank you, Jacinta.
So I scored this a little bit lower than everybody else, but I just want to give a bit of feedback to where to possibly take a little bit higher. Is just some of the technical aspects. So I find there's quite a fair bit of blurring that's happening, and then the baby looks quite sharp. Your skin tones possibly just try and warm up a little bit, and just even out that blurring and sharpening so it's a little bit more even and fix the warmth of the baby's skin tones. Otherwise, beautiful image.
Lovely. Thanks, Jacinta. And yeah, brilliant feedback. Okay, we'll move on to the next print. And the printer scored 77. We'll accept that score. And a volunteer for a comment to David? Thank you.
Yeah, I just think there's too many elements there, and the hat is really standing out in that top right-hand corner. we've got a lot of horizontal lines in the floorboards. So if you can reduce the elements and just concentrate on the posing of the baby, the head looks just a tiny bit awkward as well on the little bub. So I think there's just a few areas there that can be improved.
Okay, thank you. And all our judges were sitting around the same score with our 77s and 78s in good professional practice. But yeah, and thanks for the feedback, David. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. Ooh, and we have a silver distinction at 86. Well done. And very consistent judging there with our from 88, 84, 88, 83. So brilliant scores to the and well done to the entrant. Could we have a comment from someone since we didn't get a chance to debate the image? Rebecca, yes.
I think this is absolutely stunning. I love the narrative. It's been beautifully executed. It's a beautiful image. The only thing that distracts my eye is one of the leaves that's above the gum nuts. That just draws my eye because there's a sharp edge that gets cut off. Apart from that, it's absolutely exquisite. It's gorgeous. Well done.
Beautiful. Oh, well, that's our highest scoring print so far. That's a little bit exciting, isn't it? Now, just on that, let's just take a second. Could we have a judge name? Simone, if you just have a rest for a moment. Don't go too far. And we welcome to the panel Diane DeRay. Now, Diane has been one of our WA judges for many years, been on WA Council. And Diane, just while you're sitting down and she is ready, just introduce yourself if you can.
Hi, I'm Diane. I've been photographing weddings and portraits for a long time. I think I shot my first wedding in the year 2000. Been working with my best friend and business partner Amber for about 12 years, so lovely to be on the panel with her today.
Isn't that lovely, working with your best friend? Okay, now we are judging the newborn category at our West Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards, and we are sponsored by KL. We'll have our next print, please. And the printer scored at 77. We will accept that score. And most of our judges are in a similar range. But is there anyone who'd like to offer any? Yeah, Jacinta?
With this one, just watch your posing and the angle that you're shooting. So if you came a little bit more over the top of the baby, so you've got more of a different direction of your photograph rather than lower. would probably help with the angle here, as we're seeing more of the base of the baby rather than the top. And just watch your hands, that we're seeing the chin of the face of the baby as well, because we're sort of losing the shape of their face through their hands.
Brilliant. This is like a little seminar on newborn photography here at in our judging panel, having all this talent. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And the print score's 78. And I will accept that score. Okay, we've got a couple of judges sitting in the 80 range. Amber, would you like to offer a comment?
I really enjoyed the concept of this image. We've seen the rainbow baby theme quite often, and this is a really unique way of presenting that. So, yeah, that's what I enjoyed the most.
Okay. Thanks, Amber. Next print, please. Letting everyone know that our print handlers are wearing bandanas, so they are helping our council. So if you see someone with a red bandana, that person is a print handler. Now we know. Also, we have a cake stall outside. Is that happening now? Do you know? Yeah. Okay. So, and that is helping to support the Year 2 grads. So, just reminding everyone to support our Year 2 graduates. Oh, and the print has scored 81, a silver award. Oh, well done to the entrant. And we have 81, 83, 84. There's some solid silver scores there. David, do you have any feedback for the entrant?
Yeah, I've enjoyed the. Am I on? It's switched on. Yeah, I enjoyed the black and white texture, but I think it was the narrative behind this. I'm thinking these are the grandparents' hands. They're older hands, and I'm enjoying that, and the protection from the grandparents. That's what I'm assuming anyway. But just it's almost like a little photojournalistic moment. It's not as posed as a lot of the pictures we're seeing in this category, and I think it's just to me, it looked very real. That's why I gave it a solid 84.
Wonderful. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And we have a silver award at 84. And just one moment, do we have anyone wanting to challenge? Yes. Okay, now judges, please. Yeah, this is important for the entrant. Let's really jump up and down. We have our judge one, Amber, on 92. Amber is going to challenge, and Amber, you have a little bit of company in silver with 82, 83, 82, 83. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a final score of 84. Take it away, Amber.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. The initial impact is just, amazing from back here. The concept is... The tree concept may not be highly unique, but the DNA concept with the twins is just what really grabbed me, and it's done so well with the chain of DNA, the double helix going up into the tree. That is just, the idea is amazing. And overall, the background is artwork in itself. I'm not sure how the author's done it, but it's just incredible. The texture that's coming through that. It's almost a silhouette with the trunk, and then the tree texture coming through it. It's just amazing idea in the execution. The expressions on the twins' face is just beautiful, and the whole colour palette, the shade of bottle green that's used is just works really well together and ties in with the wrapping with the baby. So. Yeah, I definitely think this deserves higher than a solid silver. Definitely coming up into at least silver distinction, if not gold. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you will get a right of reply to have a little bit more of a chat, Amber. If I could ask Rebecca for a comment. You scored at 82.
Yeah. I think I scored at 83. Yeah, cool. But I did feel, I was tossing up, and I did feel I went a little low. And I think I needed that story, which I think Amber has told me quite beautifully. And yeah, the expressions on the babies are gorgeous, and the fact that they are different, which is kind of probably a comment on the twins as well. So I definitely feel I'd be moving up.
Lovely. And I might have one more comment from... Diane.
Look, I really loved a lot of things about this print too. I particularly really love the tonal range. I think it's really beautiful, and the babies are absolutely perfect. I think I would have enjoyed it a little more if the tree was darker. I just feel like there's nothing to really discover, if that makes sense. So I think like I said, the babies are absolutely perfect, but I think if you went to the babies first and then discovered the rest of the story, I feel like the narrative is somehow stronger. But I do agree with what a lot of Amber said, so I'm definitely going to change my score. But to get into gold, maybe if this person's looking to re-enter upper or something like that, just reconsider the tonal range across the whole print, because I think it's a little too even at the moment.
Now, Amber, you have a right of reply.
Yes, I only heard one minor negative. I think the tone difference between the tree and the babies is maybe just enough, but I still really love the blending of the tree into the background, as well as at the roots. It's softened quite nicely, so it goes beautifully into the ground. Please come up.
Okay, I'll ask you to hold your score, Amber, and judges, if you could rescore. Well, and we have a silver with distinction at 87. That is wonderful. And I don't know if the judges realise, or the audience or live stream, but we have all the distinctions on display at Yagan Square. I think, is it 2 weeks or a month following? Yes, so everything that scores a silver distinction and above will actually be up at Yagan Square on the huge screen. So that is something very special for the entrance and for all our silver distinction and above. Could we actually have a blank screen for the moment, and judges just take a second while I have a chat to Steve? Okay, we're back again. Just updating the system and just reminding the audience that it's reversed with the judges. So Amber scored the image, and it looks like she would be down the other end. But yeah, so keep that in mind. So you're thinking, why aren't they challenging? It's because it wasn't. It was the other end. Okay, so let's go for our next print, please. And the print score is 77. We'll accept that score and have a comment from anyone in particular. Yep, offering. David Oliver, thank you.
Yeah, one of the first things you notice when you look at this image is top left-hand corner, and it's just standing out so strong. And so if that backdrop, which is the floorboards, had continued on, I think that would have helped. So just maybe a different angle.
Yes, as soon as you say it, you look at that, don't you? So that's great feedback for the entrant. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. On our Yagan Square tangent, we have a sundowner at the Shoe on Yagan Square at 6 p.m. It's no tickets required. And so that's the launch of the whole spectacular AV show. So come down and see that for sure. Especially if you are a silver distinction and above, you could stand under it and have your picture taken and put it on Facebook. That's what I'm going to do if I get a distinction. Now, the print score's 79. Okay, we have two. I'll accept that score. Thank you. We have two of our judges in the silver range. Diane, can you offer some feedback for the entrant?
Look, I really enjoyed this image. I think it's got a really beautiful colour palette. I think, to me, the most arresting part of the image is the baby. The baby's face, I think, is beautiful, but possibly other parts of the image are not as well put together as that. So I feel like if you cropped into just the baby's face, you'd have a really beautiful photo, but the feet and the control of the rest of the image are not quite as strong. So maybe just look at that again, and you could possibly use a different frame, or, but yeah, stick with this type of thing because it's very creative and beautiful.
Okay. Thanks, Diane. And let's have our next print, please. And we have a score of 77. Oh, all our judges were in the professional practice range. If we could have a comment from Rebecca.
It's an interesting concept. The actual key photo is beautiful. The baby looks lovely. I think I'm just missing a little bit of what the story's trying to tell me. And yeah, so I'm getting a bit sort of lost in that. And my eye does get drawn to the big black centre as well. But the posing and the hands is absolutely beautiful on the baby.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. Could I have a judge change? Amber, if you could have a rest. And I'd invite back on the panel Simone Addison. Won't be a moment, judges. Just don't have too big a chocolate or mint, but yeah, we'll be ready to start again in a moment. Okay, and we'll have our next print, please. We are judging the newborn category, sponsored by KL, and we're at the West Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards. We've just got a little technical glitch, so we're waiting for the score to come up on the screen. So we'll hang fire on that one. Oh, we're back again. Okay, and the print has scored 76. We're all sitting in professional practice, judges, and we have a comment from our visiting Melbourne newborn photographer extraordinaire, Jacinta.
Beautiful concept. We see this a little bit in newborn photography. Just my eye is directly going to that hotspot on the top arm. Also, there's a hotspot on the foot. And just have a look at where we've got a bit of banding going around the head from where it's been painted into black. The background possibly it's a little bit blue. So just be careful when you're doing something like that, that you're not losing texture of the hair or anything like that. Just a few technical things to have a look at.
Oh, yeah, great feedback. Thanks, Jacinta. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. We have our cocktail party and awards presentation this Thursday night at 6:30 at the Perth Town Hall. You will need to get your tickets online. Oh, and we have a silver distinction at 85. We have some very solid scores. Rebecca, you particularly like the image. Any feedback for the entrant?
Yeah, I just as soon as it turned around, it was something unique and different that hasn't come up before, or we haven't seen much of, and it's gorgeous. It's narrative. It's the tonal palette's beautiful. I really loved it.
Yeah, well done to the entrant, and a quick comment from Simone Addison as well.
I agree with Rebecca. I think when I went up to the print, I really wanted to see a little bit more detail in the wall in the back. I was trying to figure out initially what it was, so maybe a bit more texture to sort of bring out to make it look more like a wall and less like just black. It's a little bit muddy, but beautiful, beautiful print. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for the feedback, and well done to the entrant. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And we have a score of 77. All judges agree that this is good professional practice. And is anyone who would like to offer a comment to the author in particular? Jacinta.
So I think I'm getting the story right here, that possibly this was meant to be twins and possibly one baby has been lost early on in pregnancy or after birth. The only possible thing that maybe I would mention is if they are twins, I know they're meant to be alike, but maybe a different pose on the other side. So it's a little bit different so it doesn't look replicated. And just watch the texture at the top. We're losing a little bit in blurring. And also the line where you can see distinctively on the baby on the left, which is like a fold in the blanket. If that was directly straight across, so your eye's not directing to that line on the left-hand side.
Oh, thanks, Jacinta. Okay, how are all our judges feeling? Everyone A-okay? Good. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. And we have a silver award at 81. Okay, we'll accept that score. And Rebecca or David, you scored at 83. have a comment for the author, since we didn't get a chance to talk about
Yeah, I enjoyed the humour in this picture. Since I looked at it from here, it just made me laugh. This little boy, I gather, sitting there like a little old man, you know. But one of the distractions, I think, is the curtain on the left. So if you want this to do well, maybe at Nationals, I'd definitely take that out and just go with that simplicity of less is best.
Good, thank you. And no coffees for our judges. We're hyped up enough. Come on, judges. Yeah, doing great. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And the print scores 76. And all our judges are sitting in that professional practice range. Could I have a comment, Diane, perhaps?
Well, first of all, well done to the author, because this is a very saleable photo, and I'm sure parents would absolutely love to buy this type of thing. So really well done for scoring in such a professional practice range. I think the skin tone of the baby might need looking at. So one thing that's important is that you view your prints under the actual lights or very similar lighting conditions. So sometimes under the lights the colours can change and the contrast and that sort of thing. So I'll definitely look at that.
Thanks, Diane. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. Oh, and we have a silver award at 82. Yes, and we'll accept that score. And could I have a quick comment from David Oliver?
Yeah, just to take this one to the next level. The shadow falling on the beard from the baby is very strong, and if that had been handled a little bit better, possibly would have gone up even higher. And just control those highlights as well for Nationals. Bring them down just a little, and this will do really well.
Lovely. Thank you, David. I will have a judge change. Rebecca Johansson, if you could take a little rest, and we'll invite back on the panel Amber Simcoe. Now, judges, we're loving the comments. It's absolutely brilliant. And I don't want to cut the comments down at all, but the decision making just needs to speed up a tad. So it's one or the other. So we either cut the comments or the decision making. Okay, so if we could just go a little bit faster back and get your scores in, and then we can have time to have a little bit longer chat about the image. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. Okay. And sorry, I had to do the judge change. We have a score of 78. Now, we have most of our judges in that professional practice range. We do have David at 82. This is not a challenge. This is just a comment because David isn't 5 away from the average. David, a little feedback for the entrant?
Yeah, look, I enjoyed the lighting. It's really soft and subtle. The whole picture's subtle. I quite enjoyed this. I guess to improve it, again, you've got that big space into the corners. Maybe come in just a little tighter, and but lighting I thought was exquisite.
And a comment from Simone as well. Just quickly, when I went up, the focus point is more on the bush on the outside. The baby is a touch soft, so just watch that when you're printing. Thanks.
Thanks, Simone. Okay, we'll have our next print, please. And we have a silver award at 84. Okay, I'll accept that score because we don't have someone 5 away, even though we do have a couple of our judges sitting on 88 and but we have an average of 84. Okay, well, chafing at the bit is Simone Addison for a comment to the entrant.
I really liked this. I wish I could challenge, but obviously, yeah. The thing that got me, obviously, was the little text in the bottom right-hand corner. But the final little point for me was the fact that the Africa and then Australia, his little fingers are joined, if you don't notice. But I found that he was coming from Africa and then he's now meeting at Australia, and so hence why I scored at 88. So beautiful print.
Yes, Jacinta would like to have a comment as well.
Just something quickly. This is really cleverly constructed and beautiful. The only thing that was distracting me, if you're going to take this to APA, is the wraparound baby. If you have an image that there is no wrap and it's just solely baby, I would definitely use that. I'd find it to be a little bit stronger as the wrap around the baby is a little bit distracting.
Okay, great comments for the entrant. And just remember, judges, too, we don't have any reviews, and to be 5 away, it really needs to be 89. I know that seems, not that we want to stack the scores, but just keeping that in mind. Okay, we'll accept that score, or we have accepted it, and we've had a bit of a chat, and great comments for the entrant, and we'll have our next print, please. And the printer scored 85, a silver with distinction. Okay, and right up the top there is Diane. Diane, any comment or any for the entrant?
Yeah, look, I think this is a really beautiful image, and well done for scoring a silver with distinction. I think it's a really beautiful portrayal of the journey of that the couple's gone on to get this really precious baby. So well done.
Okay, thanks. And let's go for our next print, please. And the print score is 75. We'll accept that score. And have a comment from Diane?
Well done for presenting something in professional practice. I think you might need to look at simplifying your concept a little bit, because we've got a lot of colours going on and a lot of tones and textures, and I don't think that they're coming together to make a harmonious picture. So if you're going to have another go at newborns, which I do encourage that you do, just look at simplifying your ideas a little bit.
Great. Thanks, Diane. And we'll have our next print, please. And we have a score of 79. We'll accept that score, and as we know, there are no reviews, so that is where the score will sit. But we do have some feedback for the entrant. And Jacinta, lovely.
Firstly, beautiful capture to be photographing white as well, because we all know white is quite a hard colour to photograph. So all the tones are quite beautiful. I really loved how you've got a square in the centre shaped like a diamond. It was really nice to see something a bit different. Just watch your highlights on the hand and also on the wrap and the little love heart that baby's holding. Just perfect those small things, but well done on doing a little bit of a different shape to what we usually see.
Okay, and actually let's have a judge change. David, if you could have a little rest. Yeah. And let's invite back to the panel Rebecca Johansson. Okay, and we'll have our next print, please. And the print score's 77. Good professional practice, and we'll accept that score, and we'll have some feedback this time maybe from Amber. Thank you.
A very confident professional print, but I just think it needs a bit more X factors, some more story or something to get into the awards range.
Thanks, Amber. And nice snappy judging too. Thanks, judges, getting there and back and getting your scores in. So let's have our next print, please. And the Print scores a silver award, 83. Very consistent judging. Let's offer some feedback for Jacinta. Thank you.
This was brilliant. This sort of caught my eye as soon as it turned around. It's got a really 3D effect, which is fantastic. All the colours are perfect. Baby posing's perfect colour tone. The only thing possibly that held me back from going higher is just the purple on the outside of the leaves or petals, whatever you want to call it. Just how it's quite sort of cut off from the background. It's quite sharp. So I don't know if a different colour background or texture possibly, so it's blended a little bit more, but it was quite sharp. Sort of, that's the only thing that held me back. Otherwise, everything else is just beautiful. Well done.
Lovely. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And the print score is 76. We'll accept that score. And all our judges were in that professional practice for this image. Could I have a comment from Jacinta? Yeah.
Well done for getting in professional practice. This is something the parents will absolutely love. Just probably posing was holding me back a little bit on this one, and also the crop. We've got a little bit of competition with the flooring with the basket, so there's quite a few textures going on. So maybe a different crop instead of a rectangle, make it a circle, so it's sort of leading lines would probably be my feedback.
Excellent. Thanks, Jacinta. And we'll have our next print, please. And the print score's 74. We'll accept that score. And let's have a little feedback from, Diane. Thank you.
The camera lens selection's a little bit unusual here, and it's caused a little bit of distortion on the baby's face and head, so I would definitely relook at that, and also just revisit the lighting on the baby's face. We've got really quite lovely lighting on the hands and feet, but the face is just a little bit lost, a little bit muddy, so I'd revisit those two things.
Good. Camera angle and lighting. That's excellent. Okay, let's have our next print, please. And we have a silver award at 80. We're accepting that score. And some feedback for the entrant, Jacinta.
Just one thing I'd probably look at is the actual focus of the baby. I was finding they were quite soft compared to the element that they're sitting in. So if you've got another frame, possibly to take it higher, just so that they are the form of focus rather than the prop that they're laying in.
Excellent. And next print, please. And we have a score of 77. We're accepting that score as all our judges are sitting in the good professional practice range. And let's have some feedback for the entrant here. Amber?
Dropping things today. I really enjoy the design of this image with the 4 hands coming in. I just found the face to be over sharpened. There's some, sharpening pixely things going on in there.
Okay, so a couple of things for the entrant to work on there. And let's ask for our next print, please. And we have a silver award at 80. Okay, 4 of our judges were sitting. So there's some good solid scoring there for our silver award. And yes, Jacinta, love to hear your feedback.
Congratulations to the photographer on this one. This is beautiful. We do see this a fair bit, but this has been perfected beautifully. So skin tone posing, lighting, composition, everything is fantastic. The only thing you are missing is like that little golden egg or cookie to sort of take it to the next level. Otherwise, well done, because the way you've constructed this is perfect. It's beautiful.
Lovely. Thanks for the feedback, Jacinta. And we'll have our next print, please. We are judging the newborn category, sponsored by KL Australia, at the West Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards. Rebecca, have you put your score in? Just press send. Oh, and a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the entrant. And some feedback from Jacinta.
The only feedback I could probably give here is just watch your angle when shooting again to take it higher. Sort of come, if you can, come a little bit higher above baby. There's a little bit of hot spots going on the left-hand side of the face and feet, and you're cropping. So at the bottom of the frame, we're cropping the prop actually off, so we're losing the prop. If you've got a frame where we're actually seeing the whole shape of the prop there, or either crop it in closer completely. Otherwise, beautiful image.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, next print, please. Did they turn it around? Yeah. So next print. Thank you. And we have a silver award at 81. Very consistent judges judging. All our judges are in agreement. Is there anyone who'd like to offer a comment? Yeah, Jacinta, please. We'd love hearing from you. It's like a little seminar we've got going on here.
This is a really beautiful concept, which I loved. The only thing that's holding me back a few things is just the actual placement of the baby in the little honey cocoon. You can sort of tell that it's possibly been photoshopped in. And we're also losing some of the textures of the honeycomb in the background that it's sitting in, and also the textures in the background, so you can see some of the cloning happening. So if we can even that out, and maybe the lighting, so we've got quite bright light on the centre of that tree, which is taking away from the focus of the baby. So if we can even up that a little bit, I think you would go higher, Karmapa.
Wonderful. Okay. And let's have our next print, please. And the print has scored 84, a silver award. So we've got some very solid silver scores there, with even one judge at 85. Any feedback? Yes, Simone, love to hear from you.
Yeah, the colour palette of this is beautiful, and all the elements are working well, really nicely together. The cookie that got me when I went up is the little blush from the baby, obviously is replicated on the baby from the flower. So that was a nice little surprise when you went up there.
That's lovely. Okay. And let's have our next print, please. And we have a score of 78, and we're accepting that score as all our judges are in that professional practice range. Could I have a comment perhaps from Diane?
Look, I really enjoyed this photo, and well done to the author. Yeah, it's very solid. You know, we're right on the cusp there of the award. And I think a cute little caption for this would be the grumpy unicorn, because the baby does not look entirely pleased about the headdress, but I actually really love that aspect of it. Just watch your background here. Those floorboards are really distracting and not adding anything at all to the image. So I feel like, you know, you've got a really beautiful little concept there, but just watch all the execution. So, you know, as a judge, our eyes are just being taken out of the photo with those lines.
That's great feedback, Ty. And we've got nearly 100 people listening online, so it is quite informative for, you know, the newborn photographers starting out or the family photographers. These sort of comments are, you know, once you mention the distracting elements, then all of a sudden you say, wow, yeah, that's what needs to change in the image. So very informative feedback, judges. And let's have our next print, please. And we have a silver with distinction, 85. We are accepting that score, and let's have a comment from about what maybe. Yeah, Jacinta, I'd love to hear from you.
I'm not sure what could possibly take it to gold, but firstly, it's just exceptional. Once again, this image looks quite 3D. Even the way that the softness that the flowers are sort of blending into the background is perfectly executed. The posing is great. The lighting is on the baby. Colour tones are brilliant. If you are going to take a tap and you really want to get that gold, it just needs another element, some sort of cookie. I don't know what you would add to it, but that's the only thing that's missing. It's exceptional. It's a beautiful print. Well done to the photographer.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, and we'll have our next print, please. We're judging the newborn category, sponsored by KL Australia, and just reminding everyone that we do have the cocktail party this Thursday night, starting at 6:30 at the Perth Town Hall, and there is an exhibition of the winners at the Town Hall. Is that right, Steve? Wow, and also the silver distinction and above are going to be on an amazing AV show at Yagan Square for all of Perth to see. Something really to aspire to for our entrants, getting that silver distinction or above. Well, the judges have made their decision, and we have a 79 for this print. I will accept that score because we don't have anyone 5 away from the average, but I would like a comment for the author from Simone.
Yeah, look, the expressions on this is obviously what it's all about. I just wonder if we don't need quite as many, perhaps, less and maybe a different configuration. I am a little bit distracted from the very bottom one. His head's getting almost very closely cut off from the middle image. So just have a play around. I really enjoy the concept. So yeah, have another go.
Thank you, Simone. Okay, next print, please. The print scores 84, a silver award. Now, there were some solid scores here for our 84. So we are accepting that score because we don't have any challenges, the right to challenge. We're not 5 away from the average. Can I have a volunteer for a little bit of feedback for the author? Simone.
Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful print. The colour palette is gorgeous. When I went up, I really wanted to see what was in that necklace, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And I really wanted to have that as my little cookie to bring me up higher, but I just couldn't figure out what it was. I was kind of hoping that you guys would. But yeah, it's definitely got something there. So if you could make it clearer or a little bit more obvious to us, that'd be great.
Yes, most definitely. We'd love to hear from you, Jacinta.
Just one quick comment. I agree with Simone actually on everything that she said, but the other thing is just one technical thing, just the shape of baby's face, because we've got highlights coming from the left-hand side. We're sort of losing the shape of the chin and the face. So if you can just contour your lighting with your post-processing. So we've got a clear definition of the jawline. That would probably take it higher as well.
Ah, beautiful. That's great feedback for the entrant. Okay, and I like that word cookie. So that means if you have like a cookie, like it's something like a lolly, is that what that means? A little Easter egg, like a little Kinder Surprise. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like the cookie word. I'll be using that one. Okay, next print, please. And the print scores 76. Now, we have all our judges in the range of the good professional practice, as we're seeing with the print. And could we have a comment from Jacinta? Let's have a comment from Jacinta and Rebecca.
Great. Well done for professional practice. This is great, something the parents are going to love. Just a few things possibly to have a look at is just your angle when shooting. Once again, I've said it a few times, it looks like we're shooting quite far back. Try and come a little bit more over baby so we're not seeing a lot of the bottom side with the feet and it's looking like maybe there's a nappy there or something, so we've got a bit of a better angle. Plus, you're also losing the shape of the nest. So we're losing the top of the nest, and that's because of the angle that you're shooting. We're not getting the full circle, and the flooring is a little bit distracting. So it's competing against one another.
Great comments. Thanks, Jacinta. Let's have a...
Pretty much everything you just said. The angle just means that it feels like you're looking... it's very bottom heavy on the nest, and it's quite light at the top left, so my eye keeps getting drawn up there as well, and that background is a little competing with the baby.
Good, great feedback, judges. And could I have a blank screen, please? Now, that was the last print of the category. Well done to all the entrants. There was some absolutely outstanding work there, and even the work that didn't quite get the silver awards. It was definitely up into that good professional practice. So we're seeing quite a high standard in the newborn category. Yeah, and can we just have a comment from Diane on that?
Yeah, I just want to say well done to all the entrants. I think, overall that standard was amazing. I mean, newborn photography is just, really going gangbusters, and I can see that entrants are taking on board what people are saying from previous years. And, the standard overall, I mean, the standard, now to get between 75 and 79 is really high. So, yeah, well done.
Excellent. And Jacinta, a feedback comment from you?
I probably would say something along the similar lines. The standard was quite high. So it's nice to see diversity in some of your simplistic images, but they're being perfected perfectly, which also is an award. But then you've also got your creative side, which is standing out as well. So we've got a bit of both sides, which is brilliant. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, so some diversity there. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, judges. Well done. And... we'll be judging the documentary category in this room next, but take a break and we'll see you back soon.